I believe this is your first trip to Afghanistan.
It is.
Okay. So tell us about your journey. For all, it started from zero, from one country to 50. So tell us about the whole journey.
Yes. Well, again, it is such an honor to be here in Afghanistan and to have had the chance over the last couple of days to spend time with the fabulous Teach For Afghanistan team and to get out into schools and just understand more about the context here and the possibilities here. So thank you so much for having me. This all started 30 years ago when I was a college senior, a senior at Princeton University. And I had this idea because our generation at the time was known as the me generation. Supposedly we cared only about ourselves. And I felt that that label wasn't right, that I was one of thousands of young, rising, graduating seniors who were just searching for ways to make a real difference in the world, and particularly to address the inequities that persist in my country, in the United States, based on simply the circumstances of kids' birth. At the time, we were being very heavily recruited by a lot of banks and management consulting firms, banging down our doors saying, commit just 2 years to work in our firms. And so one day I just thought, you know what, why aren't we being recruited just as aggressively to commit just 2 years to teach in urban and rural public schools? So that really was the original idea for Teach For America. And very quickly, it was far beyond me. Within a year, we had 500 Teach For America core members, outstanding recent college graduates of all different academic majors from some of the most selective universities in the country who were teaching in our lowest income communities. And for many, many years, I had my head down and was focused fully on the United States. I mean, now over the last 30 years, 60,000 people have committed just 2 years to Teach For America. And the power of this is they've never left the work. You know, more than 80% of them are still full-time working in education and in related pursuits to expand opportunity for children in the most disadvantaged communities in the U.S. The problems in my country remain, so I had my head down, as I said, just working very hard to make Teach For America itself kind of bigger and better. I wasn't thinking about whether this might make sense in Afghanistan or in any other country. But about almost 15 years ago now, I started meeting people, incredible people from all over the world, who were just determined that something similar needed to happen in their countries. And ultimately, that's what led to the launch of Teach For All, which is a network of independent, locally led organizations in 50 countries and growing, that all share this similar approach of saying, you know, we're going to galvanize the rising generation of leaders in our countries to channel their energy into expanding opportunity for the most marginalized kids in their countries. So that's kind of, I never would have guessed 30 years ago when I was a college student that this idea would bring me to Afghanistan, but that's a little bit about how I got here.
Okay. How did you feel when each member or each country was adding in the list? How was your feeling when a new country or a new member was adding into the list from beginning?
Well, what's so fascinating is that I think almost the day people started saying, I really want to do this in India, or in Haiti, or in Chile, or Peru, or Nigeria, where, you know, such diverse contexts, it was kind of the moment when our progress started accelerating, meaning we started going faster, because there were so many brilliant, committed people in such diverse contexts around the world who innovate on the basic approach. And once we were able to start learning from each other across borders about really how to do this well, what truly differentiates the teachers who put their kids on a trajectory to be able to shape a better future. What those alumni of the organizations would go on to do and how to change the various systems in which we operate, we started moving more quickly. So it's very exciting to be part of the journey and to be able to learn from incredible people all around the world who all share the same kind of values and the same purpose.
Let me ask you one more question. We know that the last country added in the list was Morocco. We call it Marrakesh. Which one was the first? I'm not talking about Teach For America, the other countries.
You know, there were 7 countries that essentially launched all at the same time. Teach For India was really one of the very first. And the very first person I met who found her way to my office in New York City and said, "You really need to come to India," was a woman named Shaheen Mistry, who founded Teach For India, which has made a huge influence on all of the organizations related to the Teach For All network.